Welcome you lovely people. This is our latest auction on Saturday the 10th of September here at Manor Park Classics. I think it's one of the best auctions we've ever had in terms of the variety of lots, the value of the lots. But let me show you around. I've got my iPad because there's so many things to remember. So come with me, come into the German room of wonderment. And we'll start with this. This is a little bit special while Elliot holds the door there. This is a 1999 Mercedes-Benz CL500. Now, when these were new, these cost as much as a pretty reasonable house. Now you could buy this, we've estimated this at 7,000 to 8,000. It's only done 94,000 miles. It had a service in March, a decent one, so that's all been done. Even the aircon is cold, and I think you could smoke around in that looking like old money. I think these are wonderful. I've never owned one. Could be a little bit of a gamble with these because obviously when they go wrong, they go really wrong, but this one has everything perfect. I love that. I really love that. That's a beautiful car and a very nice example of it. You cannot get classier than an S-Class, and this is the one you want. This is a 600 SEL. Now, there's been so much interest in this car, and you may find by the time we put this video up, we may have sold this, but just in case, we've estimated it at 9,000 to 11,000. I personally think it will go for a lot more because that's the engine that everybody wants. This one has got a stellar history. It's only done 87,000 miles. It's got all the invoices and MOT, original book pack, and was sold in 1998 for 30 grand. So I think that's going to represent something of a bargain. If you do want to buy that one and you watch this video, have a conversation because it might not even make it to sale now. The phone has been ringing so much on that car, so be quick if you really want one. Beautiful car, 1992 that one, as I say, with 87,000 miles. Just gets better and better. This gorgeous 420 SE in blue, it's done 127,000 miles. It's got the V8, it's got sunroof, it's got the headlight washers. And the guys who've driven this, they say it just drives exactly as you want a 422. It's got the proper engine, the colour really suits it, it's got the velour seats. This will not be an expensive car. We've estimated this at £4,000 to £6,000. I just think if you want to smoke something that will last forever, this will be here long after we've all gone. This car will still be on the planet. Just this car and the cockroaches in a post-apocalyptic world, it's one of the things you can be sure of. Drives beautifully, it's going to be pocket money. Have a bid on that, that's awesome. This, again, we've had a huge amount of interest in this car. The phone has been ringing off the hook because it's a price-rangey car. It is, of course, a 1993 Mercedes-Benz 190e 2-litre. It's only done 121,000 miles, which on a Merc like this, it's running in mileage. We've estimated this at 3,000 to 4,000. What can I tell you? 22 service stamps on this. It's got the 8 slots on as well, look. Dealing mud flaps. It's even got the first aid kit as well. So again, they call these young timers in Germany, really, really nice way to get into the motor market. Beautiful drive, a classic you can daily, and a classic that's only going one way for sensible amounts of money. I love that car. Moving over to one of my favourites, the 850. So this is the V12, makes the most beautiful noise when it drives along. It's just like whisper silent. These are, I think, far too cheap for what they are. These cannot stay at the price they're at. This one is a 91, it's done 122,000 miles. It's got factory spec, decent service history with this. We've estimated this at just 12 to 14 grand, which I think for what it is criminally cheap. This is the flagship car that BMW had in the early 90s. They are amazing to drive and only going one way. Great colour in red, really suits it as well. Super rare cars, 1973, great year. Same year as me. 350 SLC, so the proper engine. It's done 67,000 miles. It's got MOTs going back to 1979, tax discs all the way back to 1983. It's got a spare key. Now, if you don't know, the SLC is obviously the longer coupe version of the SL. Because they've got longer wheelbase, they drive better. They're much, much rarer, about an eighth of these on the road compared to SLs. In the German national racing colour of silver, a wonderful, wonderful thing. This drives beautifully. It's a great way to smoke about, looking cool. In fact, everything in this room, I would give body parts to own. And not least of all, this one. This is stunning. Again, we've had a huge amount of interest on this because of what it is. So it's a 92 318i convertible. It's got the auto box, but it's only done 48,000 miles. Factory spec, huge service history with this car. In fact, Elliot, come and have a look. Look at the interior on this. Where these normally go, seat bolsters, where you get degradation on the hood, on the seats, it's just perfect. Proper little time warp car, that. If you're looking for something to use, tuck away, do moderate miles on in a year and just have some fun with, that's a wonderful car. We've estimated that at 8 to 12,000. I personally think that's going to go for a bit more because it's so nice. It's as close to buying a new one as you'll get in the current climate. That's a great car, that. Lovely engine, lovely car. This is a bit of fun, isn't it, this? Look at Jim, look how athletic he is, look. See how fast and hard he's working. You may have noticed Jim from some of our other videos. He's the one that sounds like Ringo Starr doing Thomas the Tank Engine. Now this is a 1931 Ford Model A Phaeton Tourer, drop top, beautiful patinated interior. Elliot, come and have a look at that, look. It's only done 5,918 miles, so I'd imagine at some point it's had an Odo change. It's got this fabulous patinated paint. It's got the 3.3 engine, just had a new roof on it as well, and it appears to be very original. We don't think this car's had a huge amount of work. Obviously a little bit of paint and rectification on the wheels and new tyres and things, but drives really well. We've estimated that at 12 to 14 grand. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. This stuff, this 30 stuff, isn't a huge amount of money, but my word, imagine turning up at a car show in this. Imagine the looks you'd get. You get more looks in this, wouldn't you? More cheers and waves and happy faces than if you turned up in a Ferrari. Right, rare Fords, expensive Fords, fast Fords. The homologation cars, the Group A homologation cars. XR3i's are cool. XR3's even cooler. The one that's above that, of course, the RS 1600i, the car they made with the sexy sodium-filled exhaust valves, all of those bits to go racing. This is a true homologation car, this one. So this one has only done 42,000 miles. It's got fresh MOT, full photographic history of previous resto. It's the correct spec with factory roof as well. And we've estimated that at 14 to 16 grand now. Put that in the canon of RS prices. Think of what other RSs go for. 14 to 16 grand. I've seen these, I've seen in a mint one of these go for 25 retail and make it. So I think that represents a bit of a bargain. Another fast Ford. This one's very, very pleasant. 1972 Ford Capri 3000 GT even. Now, this was the car that Ford said you always promise yourself, and I think you should promise yourself this one. Really lovely older restoration. It's got the 138 brake 3-litre engine, beautiful interior, it's baby blue with black stripes. It's got the very desirable road style wheels as well. This car we've estimated at 20 to 25 grand. Again, there's only, how many's left? Let's have a look. Yeah, 32 examples left on UK roads. I just think this is the British Mustang. It's got to be a classic, and as we go forward, with so few of these early Capris left, got to be money in the bank. But never mind that, it's a wonderful thing to drive. Great sounding engine, beautiful looking car, and the precursor to a whole load of Ford coupes. There wouldn't be a Mustang on sale in the UK now without that car. So that's the original, the OG, that one. So we shall look at this lovely Jensen with these lovely people. This is a 1955 Jensen 541. I know my lovely colleague and friend Fuzz Townsend has a soft spot for this because he's from West Bromwich, from the West Midlands. It's when we were making the most wonderful cars. This is from a deceased estate, offered in original specification, and the patina on this car, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if that comes across on the video, it's just perfect because it's sort of sitting in what looks like older paint or gel coat. Vinyl roof's lovely, interior's lovely, but the car is not concours, it's just exceptionally tidy. And for that reason, I think you'd want to use it, you want to get out and drive it and have some fun. What else can I tell you? Ivory leather interior, it's got the correct Michelin tyres on it, it's got, current owners had it for 19 years, and it's just had a brand new stainless steel fuel tank, which is a very good thing to have on these, that's future-proofing it. Loads of spare parts with it, and a monster history file. Now we've estimated this, and when was the last time you saw one? And more importantly, when will you see another one at a show? That's 28 to 32 grand, we've estimated that. I think to drive around looking effortlessly cool, can't even say it. And I think that's way cooler than any supercar you could rock up in for 30 grand, crikey. What a bit of fun that is. Now this is very good news. We did an Elise on our show. I should just stand next to this carbon fibre roof. This is very lovely. This is 15,000 miles, 2000 Lotus Elise Type 49, super rare spec with a gold leaf. If you know, Colin Chapman was very clever. He was the first person to put a cigarette sponsor or any sponsor on a car. This was the livery he used. He used the gold leaf livery, and that's what created Formula One tobacco sponsorship and sponsorship in general. And this car tips its hat to that. So I think these will be going forward one of the cars that everybody wants to own because it's got the gold leaf livery. Great MOT history with no advisories. Been part of a private collection since 2003, hence the ridiculously low mileage. And I'm looking around, and guys, there's nothing to do. Just nothing to do. Just put petrol in it, polish it, tax it, insure it, and thrash it. 25 to 30 grand that one. So you can have either of these for about the same money. Do you want to go really fast or look really cool? It's up to you. It's up to you. Right, come with me. Now, guys, rarity. If you've never driven one of these, sounds like a weird thing to say. This is one of the best handling front-wheel drive cars you will ever drive at any price point. I include in that things like DC2, DC5 Integra, they're brilliant. These are surprisingly close and incredibly entertaining. If you read a contemporary road report on these in period, every road tester, really big names, loved how these drive. Lift off, oversteer, you name it. Super balanced car. This one has done 7,000 miles. This is a 1998 Ford Puma 1.7. It's almost like buying a brand new car. There's not even any stone chips on the bonnet. One owner from new, original spec, 7 service stamps in there. Still got the original dealer plates on look as well. It's driven here 110 miles to our premises, and it drives, as you would expect for a 7,000 mile car, like a brand new car. These are normally rotten, they're terrible. It's the most 90s colour you could get. If you want one of these to tuck away, have some fun with, it's that one. £6,000, £7,000 estimate. What a thing, what a thing. I love that. Sort of affordable fun. Now bow down, because the 911 we all know is a great car. Possibly the most focused driver's 911 is the GT2. This is a GT2. What gearbox do you want? It's a manual. Again, great investment potential. But more important than that, just a wonderful driver's car. This one's only done 40,000. It's one of the best colours. It is a UK supplied car, just one of 129. Full main dealer service history, which for a 2003 car, not all of them have that. Drives as new, as you'd expect. Just serviced in April 2022, and I think a true collector's car. Just great spec, all the right bits on that, and of course these have got the hollow spoke wheels on this GT2. We've estimated that's not a cheap car, 90 to 110,000, but as we say in the trade, find me a nicer one. I think that car really is a little bit special. Like this, so many people have asked for a video on this. Let's wax lyrical about this lovely, lovely Java Green base model RS 2000. What can I tell you? It's a 1980 car. It's done. Where's the mileage? Where's the mileage? Wow, it's got 1,900 miles on, so I'm guessing it's had a full resto and speedo reset on that. New brakes, just had a cam belt service. It's got a 2.1 Pinto with a light and flywheel and a road cam in it. 5-speed box upgrade as well. It's the original floor and inner seals, and a new Aldridge interior, which I have to say, guys, is absolutely blinking lovely. So you've got the fishnets on there as well. This car, I'm looking around it now, just faultless, really, absolutely faultless. The restoration is lovely, the colour's beautiful. It's a Droop Snoop model as well. It's got the right wheels, the interior looks incredible. Java Green, I think, is a colour that really, really suits these. That's estimated at 25 to 30. I think it's probably going to make it. And I think if you know your Mark IIs, you're going to have a little cheeky bid on that. That's a very, very lovely car. Walking over to this. Now, if you watch our little show, you might have seen we did a Super Sport. A Super Sport obviously is based on a fairly humble Fiesta, but because they're the precursor to the XR2, Ford collectors go mad for them. So they're just a lovely thing. This one is exceptional. The car that we did is probably, maybe not even as nice as this, because this has got the Recaros in, the full interior, and it's got the factory roof as well. This car is estimated at 24 to 28. We got 27 for ours retail. So this is, I think, priced very, very fairly, because that was 2.5 years ago. It's done 58,000 miles, unbelievable condition, factory correct spec, drives perfectly, and it's as good underneath as it is on top. So if you want a Super Sport, if you want a car that gave birth to the XR2, great colour, great condition, lovely restoration, and everything is as it should be. So that's a good car. Moving on to, who doesn't love a Defender? This is a 2016 Land Rover Defender 90 Adventure TD. Why is this car so special? It has done, ladies and gentlemen, 197 miles. Not 1,197 miles, it's done 197 miles. It's a delivery mileage car. So if you're looking for a Defender with everything on it, with no mileage on it, you just found it. So warranted mileage of 197 miles, one owner, completely standard as it left the factory, full book pack, it's got a security system, it's got the roof rack, it's got the lovely sawtooth alloys, it's got everything. It's just a beautiful spec. Come and have a look inside. You can't buy a new Defender anymore, can you? Unless you buy this one, because this is obviously been bought, sat in someone's collection, never really been driven anywhere, maybe to the pub once. Car is as new. So that car is estimated at 55 to 65,000 pounds. Genuine, people say once in a lifetime buy it or miss out. You'll never buy that car again, ever, ever. So if you like Land Rovers, if you want to buy a brand new one effectively and use it, that's a great one to use, or just tuck it in your collection and watch it go up. It seems very cheap compared to the price of the new one. Now, this is a particularly nice car, 1970 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. I think the most beautiful colour, this one. It's done 4,800 miles, got a brand new set of Goodyears on it. Period features, I think these early Shadows are just one of the most effortlessly elegant cars. The proportions, the colour, the thin band white walls. Got loads of correspondence from Rolls-Royce to previous owners, and it's just a lovely, original, unmolested, unmessed with car that I think you could turn up with anywhere and just look like you're it. Just look like you're the stuff. This is £7,000 to £9,000. It's not an expensive car, but what it is very cool. I don't think there's many cars you can buy for under 10 grand that you could look as cool as you would driving that. I like that very much indeed. Now this next car is very interesting, 1976. As you can see, some people very interested in it already. This car, ladies and gentlemen, has had spent upon it during its lifetime £100,000, and there are bills in the service history to prove that. This is actually, confusingly, a Shadow 1 with the front end of a Shadow 2, so it's like a gorgeous Frankenstein. I think one of the best colours I've ever seen on a Shadow of any period. So in 22,000 miles, which we think is pretty much spot on, 4 former keepers. The restoration on this car, the money, the effort that's gone into it. And come and have a look at the interior. The interior is just stunning. Completely retrimmed interior, battery isolator. A lot of the work's been carried out by Rolls-Royce Manchester, which I can't imagine is cheap to do. And a mega history file. I just think that has got, you know when a car's got the X factor? So that thing you can't define when you look at a car, it just sits right. The colour works particularly well. If it was mine, I think I'd dye the roof black, and you would then have possibly the coolest Rolls-Royce I've ever seen. That I absolutely love. Drives mint as you'd expect with a car with that amount of money spent onto it. This is the Rolls-Royce Corner, another 76 Silver Shadow. The colour is beautiful, isn't it? So this one's done 77,000 miles, really nice looking car. The white walls work on it as well, and I love the contrast roof colour, like the bronze roof with the pewter bodywork. Just a very well cared for car, presents very well, drives well. It's got a flared arch model as well, this one. What can I tell you again? £7,000 to £9,000. Isn't it mad? And we'll look back, won't we, in years to come. We'll remember the Shadows when they were sub 10k, when they're 20, 25k, and everyone realises what a great car these are. We'll laugh. We'll laugh at how cheap they were. That to me, again, bit of cheap flash, bit of cheap fun. Wonderful way to drive to the seaside. Right, where's my Ferrari, Al? Where is my Ferrari? There it is. My beautiful 2014 Ferrari FF V12. Full Ferrari service history. Now this car was, ladies and gentlemen, the thick end of 300 grand when it was new. They also spec'd £31,000 worth of extras. It's only done 26,000 miles. What can I tell you? Full Ferrari main history, pano roof as well. It's got the full carbon fibre packing, which is gorgeous on these. Just had a full service. Blimey, 24 grand just been spent on this car, ladies and gents, including 2 new tyres, and it's got the 2 keys. This car, as I said, house money when it was new, nearly £300,000. You could buy this on Saturday's auction for somewhere between 100 and 120. Again, a future classic, one of the most usable GT Ferraris they've ever done. I've got a friend that's got one of these. He just thinks it's the nicest car to drive. Beautiful, dash across Europe in it, arrive anywhere, effortless. And I think less than some of the sporty supercar Ferraris, this one tries less. I think it's a little bit more understated. Moving on to, I think, the potential bargain of the sale. And again, come around the back, actually, Elliot, because this is the thing you want to check. When you're buying a 3200 GT, what do you look for? Banana lights. This has got the desirable banana lights because they had a facelift later, which just didn't look as good. The values of the banana light cars are always going to be higher. This is the spec you want because it's a manual, it's a banana light car. It's in the Italian national racing colour. It doesn't have the NAF wood kit inside, and it's a manual. Even better, full history. It's also done 32,000 miles. So we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen, possibly, if you could go out and spec your dream classic Maserati 3200 GT, this is it. It's exactly as you want it to be. Manual gearbox, stunning service history, low ownership, very, very rare car. Just had a set of new Michelins on it. Somebody has loved this, but as yet, a bit like the Rolls Royces, they're not worth a huge amount of money. You could buy this car somewhere between 10 and 12 grand. Imagine if this had a Ferrari badge on it, 40, 50, 60 grand, 10 to 12 grand, lot 35. If you're canny, buy these before they make 30 grand, and I guarantee it won't be long before they do. Right, moving on. Need to be honest with you now, the owner of this car, it's not great, not great provenance, this car. This car is owned by a very good friend of mine, Drew Pritchard. But in its defence, Drew Pritchard, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the greatest petrol heads I know, and he spends any money a car needs. This is his own personal manual 911 Carrera 4S cab. It's lovely. I'll tell you a story about this. He had this car, he sold it, he hated the fact he sold it. He kicked himself so hard, he then went and found the car and bought it back. So he's owned this car twice. That's how cool this car is. It's only done 85,000 miles, which is running in for these. High spec, 4-wheel drive obviously. Got a nice car cover with it. It's had the IMS seals done, which you want to do. It's got a very nice louder exhaust, which he loves. And it's a 6-speed manual, it's not a PDK. 997s, we all think, are probably the sweet spot between classic 911 in terms of how they look and drive, but also they're modern enough to use every single day. And this has had some use, this one. He's enjoyed it. 24 to 28,000 pounds, we've estimated that at. And who knows, if you pay the top estimate, I bet Drew will come and give you the keys. So that's a great car, can recommend that. I've driven that, it's lovely. Moving on to another Italian car that I think will be very expensive in years to come. This stunning 1999 Alfa Romeo GTV. It's the 3-litre V6, the 24 valve, the desirable one. And again, the spec on this car is perfect. If you were going to spec one as an investment car, this is what you do. You do it in red with a black interior. It's only done 26,000 miles. It's got the manual gearbox, completely unmolested factory spec, full service history, 2 owners from new. Just drives superbly. Look at what classic Alphas are doing. Look at what the Giulias and Giuliettas and all that are doing. These have to be the next big thing, don't they? Always look to the next one down. This one's only estimated at between 10 and 15,000 pounds. It drives like a new car, and it's just lovely. Remember when these were? So the scabby ones of these with the smaller engines in terrible condition were 2 grand. Those days have gone. The really nice cars in exceptional condition with the histories like this, with the low mileage, are now 5 figures cars, and they will go up and up and up, and that's a wonderful thing to own. Moving on to, I do like a nice Jensen Interceptor, and we always seem to sell a few of them here at Manor Park Classics. This I love, not least of all, you know me, I would put a spoiler on everything. If you come around to the front of this, it's got the most wonderful period front air dam on it. And for that reason alone, I heartily recommend you buy this car, just because it looks so cool. Just come look at the aggro, look at the presence of this car. Imagine that in your wing mirrors behind you. You'd move, wouldn't you? 1973, as we know, the best year. £40,000 worth of invoices in the history file and a full-length Webasto, which makes motoring very pleasant. 65,000 miles, automatic of course they all were. Just benefits from an engine tuned by BHP Brooklands. It was retrimmed in 2009 at a cost of £5,000. Matching Pirellis, rear seat belts, which is a nice little upgrade as well, and also £40,000 worth of service history, which is hilarious because the car's estimated at 28 to 32. So you are buying a car that's had the best of everything all of its life for less than it costs to maintain. I can tell you, because I've done it, to restore one of these, depending on how bad the car you start with is, you can easily spend £50,000–60,000 restoring one of these, and more. I have just spent more restoring one. So to buy one of these at a third of that seems like very good value to me. That's a very nice car. One of my childhood heroes coming up now, the 1993 Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. Again, if you want one, you want this one because it's a right-hand drive UK car with 34,000 miles on. It's car number 886. It's got the correct Becker radio in there as well. It's got matching Goodyears. It's got the dealer sticker inside and invoices going back to 1998. It's just had new discs and pads in 2021. So 1,400 quid spent on the brakes. Lotus car cover on that one, and just what a thing. Needs nothing, needs absolutely nothing. That's a museum quality, collection quality car, that one. If you want a Lotus Carlton, 80 to 90 grand. Obviously not an inexpensive car, but do you buy a cheap one and restore it? Don't forget the car that we had. We had a car that needed a lot of work doing, which was declared an open. That car sold for 55, needing a huge amount of investment, paintwork, restoration. This one's 80 to 90, needing paint and polish and petrol. That's all. Right, 1973, a lot of cars from 1973 in this auction. A lot of cars coming up to their 50 years old, so of course, don't forget all these cars over 40 years old, if you've never had a classic before, everything over 40 years old is tax exempt, so this car, tax exempt. Hilariously, ULEZ exempt as well. You could drive this into the middle of London, this one. Beautiful E-Type V12 Roadster. There's always a bit of snobbery over the later E-Types because they're not considered to be as traditionally pretty as a Series 1 with the fed-in headlights. Those that know these represent stunning value because Series 1 E-Types now can be deep into 5 figures and into 6 figures, whereas the Series 3 cars, which are more usable, one could argue, even more drivable, this car is estimated at 24 to 28. What a fun way, and also if you're a big lad, a bit easier to fit in. This one's done 68,000 miles, it's a manual, which is very desirable. It's got matching P4000s, it's got a tonneau cover and a car cover, and drives beautifully. Got a nice history on this car. Just presents really honestly. The car is not perfect, but it's incredibly tidy and well presented. I think would benefit from a little bit of a paint correction. Spend £400 or £500 doing that. You'd have probably a daily driver show in the car. I think you'd definitely be able to enter that into daily driven concours. What a pretty thing. Love that. That's really nice. Looking at more Jaguars, there's a gentleman looking at this one, so we won't interrupt him. This is the evolution of the same concept. So the 1993 Jaguar XJS 4 litre, stunning car. Elliot, look at the engine. As we've got the engine open, not an easy engine to keep clean, but someone's done a wonderful job. And also that engine has only done 54,000 miles. Matching set of Avons, which was the preferred choice of both Rolls-Royce and Jaguar at the time. 2 spare wheels, fantastic looking car. Interior is just bob on. Not easy to keep beige leather in that condition. That's pretty much perfect. Current owners had this car for the last 7 years and an absolutely blinding service history. Paintwork is exceptional on this. I love an XJS. They don't, to me, seem to be an awful lot of money for what they are. This car is estimated at 13 to 16 grand. If you've never driven one, I'd heartily recommend it. They waft. They're a true GT. You can just go anywhere. Not terrible fuel consumption on the 4 litre car either. So, you know, 20 something. I think that's a great car, 13 to 16 grand. And that's it for part 1. If you want to see more, join us in the playlist for part 2 when we're looking at more great classics for September the 10th.